film. I'm Sister Georgina, registered at the Seattle Study Group, and I've been married for 19 years.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Brother Eric Muhammad. I am registered at the Seattle Study Group. Been married for 19 years. We have 5 children.
Okay. What did you learn from this marriage retreat?
I just want to say all praises due to Allah. I am very thankful that I was blessed to be able to come. I've been wanting to come for several years now, and Allah bless us to make it happen. I learned that we all could use more tools in building our relationship with our spouses, and we may not always know what we need. And I think through listening to testimonies, going through the packet, going through the drills, and the different things that I learned, it helped to solidify the foundation. And I learned another way of looking at things, so that it's more than one way to look at something, and it may not always be from my perspective. I learned to consider another perspective and to try to
I learned from the marriage retreat that communication is very essential, and the fact that there's just so much more in the sanctity of marriage that we have not been taught, and just learning how to even work with one another as a couple and our differences, and how to I think the biggest thing I've done to my wife is make her feel invalid in our marriage over the years, and just growing and understanding that that communication, her and I communicating, will help reduce down and hopefully eliminate the invalidation of us being, her being in a relationship, in a marriage with me. Pretty much that her input is very important. And the thing that I really wanted to say, that in marriage, when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said to us in the Save Our Girls message that we are co-creators, in not just the marriage, but co-creators in the universe. So being the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe, she's the co-creator in that. And that it was like a subconscious veil was removed when he said not co-creator goddess, she's a female god. And I felt like that subconsciously, I did not see her as that. And learning, hopefully being able to be around couples who can help me now understand that her, what they call as a vibe, is really her connection with God. And me growing in my faith, I will grow in her faith in that connection with God. And that's one of the things that I learned, is that communication is really where we learn how to synchronize those types of differences that male and female we share. Since she's the first act of God's creation, in my opinion, in our marriage, she's closer to God than I am. So one of the things that I want to learn in our marriage is how we now make that one.
Would you recommend this retreat to other couples?
I would highly recommend this retreat to other couples. I would recommend it to every couple, because there is no, it could even be a retreat where the minister might want to bring his wife and just come and chill, because we're all not perfect. We're all still in the process of learning, how to live, learning how to communicate, learning how to get more skills, and we all are students first in everything. And so I would highly, and it's a misconception with black people that you going to the retreat because you got you problems. No, I came because I'm having a good time in my marriage, and I want to continue to have a good time. I want to continue to have a good time. So what other skills can I use, learn, didn't know what existed? How can I build the rock? It doesn't have to be that we in shambles and I gotta go to fix it. Maybe that was some of the experience, but just coming to connect with other people who are trying to be righteous Muslims and build their relationships to be solid. We really have to get back to having wonderful relationships the right way, the right thoughts, putting the solid foundation of strong marriages, and then have strong families so that we can have a strong nation, so that everything that the minister has done for us won't be for nothing, that we will continue to march on. So I would really recommend this retreat to every couple wherever you may be in your relationship, because you're going to get something to build on it. You're going to get several things, and I like the fact that I want to make connections with other believers that are committed to trying to make their relationship work, and then we could have connections with those believers across the country and give them encouragement and maybe be a support or an encouragement to continue to work it out. And I think too, one of the things that was mentioned here a lot was auditing, Dianetics, using these drills to get us closer, going into auditing to remove whatever the thing is that I keep being reactive about that's keeping us from being one. So yes ma'am, I would definitely recommend this to every couple across the nation.
And emphatically, yes. I definitely need, my wife, she's been asking us to come for, this is the 5th year since we learned of the marriage retreat. So, I mean, although she had to go comb, fight, borrow, steal to get us to come, I mean, I was never opposed to coming because I love Brother Marcus and Sister Cecilia's show. And we laugh and, we wanted to come. But at this point in time, everything lined up that we could come. And it was indeed a blessing that, whatever Allah put on their heart, all of the love that He put into what He brought to us. And student minister Tony bringing and fortifying, and we all are learning at every level.
That's right.
Wherever we are in our Islam, I felt like we were learning. If you were a baby in it, you was learning. If you the student minister, you was learning, because we were sharing our thing, our just, sharing amongst very non-judgmental. We were just sharing so that we could grow, get it off of us, and then move to the next level. My wife and I, we've had a very life-changing, traumatic event, and we wanted to come prior to that, but because of that life traumatic event, I felt like Allah was having us focus on family, relationships, building our marriage, because at a certain point in time, you can't continue to do the same things and expect something to grow when, it was good for a season. Now we are now putting out marriage from this particular conference to be a beacon light in the nation.
Come on.
To help, all non-married and married couples that are, we have to realize that Master Fard Muhammad gave us this teaching. to give to one another so that we can help one another. And so when we look at it from what Allah has given me and what I've learned in my marriage, what works, what's this. I mean, it was just so everybody has a piece of the puzzle. And I saw in the discussion of the circle say He, Allah, is one, you know. And then in the Supreme Wisdom, it talks about, you know, the black man and woman is the supreme being. So didn't no one individual come in with the answer, you know, to, you know, maybe everyone's problem, but collectively, I got some answers to some of the questions I have, you know, about enhancing my relationship with my wife and, you know, helping her feel valid in our relationship, you know, because the beautiful part about what I got from this marriage retreat as well is that, you know, it's just the smallest little thing that really makes the marriage, you know, spark. And the spirit of everyone here was so high. I mean, regardless of the issues they had, it, you know, some brothers was like they didn't want to come, and then now they glad they came, and you know they want to work it out.
That's right.
Choice that Allah provided for them. You know, so I'm happy for my wife and I in that we share with, you know, and a big thing for us is auditing because we don't get much of it, you know, in our area. You know, we need auditing to help us get rid of some of the things that occlude us from growing. So yes, this marriage retreat, not, you know, it ain't, it's almost like one of those restrictive laws. We need it. You know, it says obey Allah and His messenger, right? Well, when you get married, you at that level. I'm just so happy that we could commune with other believers because we don't get a chance to in our remote location. Believers that are striving to help their Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So yes, this is a marriage retreat for every member of the Nation of Islam, every Christian. Even though the majority of us were Muslims, anybody that want to grow in their marriage, whether you having problems or not,
Say that.
if you want to grow your marriage, start listening to Brother Marcus and Sister Cecelia and come to the marriage, plan to come to the marriage retreat wherever they plan to host it. And Allah will bless you.
Great commercial. Okay, the final question is, what aspect of the retreat stood out most for you? I know it's hard because it was all good, but what was the best thing that just stood out the most for you?
I think that the aspect is pulling from the collective. Because once a question went out and someone had somebody had a question in response to a question, it was just the collective perspective that helped everyone get an opportunity to see things from a different perspective. And that's important in marriage because it's like, this is the way I see it, this is the way how it is. And it's like sometimes we may not consider the other perspective. And so the collective aspect, Brother Marcus and Sister Cecelia organized everything very beautifully, but I think it's the spirit from the collective and the answers and the discussions that were had that really helped broaden my mind to some things that maybe I was narrow-minded about. So I would say that.
Specifically for me is student minister Tony's answer to what is a maintainer stood out for me because I often like, when we really have not solidified a definition for a maintainer because, yes, it's specific to your marriage. And he answered it beautifully for me, and that, we as a couple, let's go define maintainer for us. And where we are weak in, supplying the definition, he said, you provide a definition, sister, and the brother provides a definition, and then we work out that maintaining. And he said, really start from the top and work down to the physical aspect. But by the time you get down to the physical aspect, the money aspect will be a moot point. We know that it takes money to live in this world, but by the time we provide a spiritual balance to her self-esteem, my self-esteem, to be able to produce and maintain a love and a level of putting Allah at the center of our marriage in whatever it is that we're dealing with. I think that was what stood out the most for me, and how, really that really provides the substance of the marriage. You understand, and what he said most importantly was, it keeps you, he talked to the group, out of me and my wife's marriage. And so that was, I think, very important to both Sister Georgina and myself. So I like that. And then at the same time, spiritual, maintaining and working it down from that aspect.
Would you guys like to add one last comment?
I just hope that, inshallah, it'll be in Atlanta next year. I hope to be starting my marriage retreat fund this year. So we don't have no excuses by the time we get to it next year. And would like to invite all of the believers, around the nation should really come and make this a priority, because we need strong marriages in the nation to produce strong families to really do the work that is required of us all and get audited. For sure.
Thank you, Brother Marcus.
Yes,
Sister
thank
Cecelia.
you.
May Allah continue to bless you all in your work and helping us keep strong marriages in our nation.
Thank you. And lastly, I just want to say I'm very thankful to Student Minister Tony's representation, him and his wife. I mean, that was like the cherry on the cake, that you're not too big to be with the little believer. You're not too big to share your experience, and you're not too big to help somebody else out, pull somebody else out. I really appreciate him being humble and just, being real. This is what it is, and we should do that more often. Be real with one another, because that is what the minister is to us. He loves us and he's real with us, and to see that demonstrated from Student Minister Tony and his wife is just an awesome feeling. Thank you.
We love you, Brother Tony.
We love you.
You
We
and Sister
love you.
Latanya.
We love you. We love
So
you.
thank you all for hosting us in your beautiful city
Yes,
as
thank you.
well. And we pray Allah continue to bless you all as well.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.